Welcome, adventurers! What's going on, guys? My name is Cody. This is Taking20, a channel about all things role-playing games. And today, I want to talk about how I think I may have been wrong about D&D Beyond. Phase 2 was just announced during the stream of Annihilation, and that's what I want to talk about. I hope you guys are ready. Let's get started. So right out of the gate, I want to say please forgive the voice today. I'm having some allergy issues, and yeah, I'm going to try to talk in a lower register to avoid my voice cracking like I'm going through puberty again. Now, when Dungeons & Dragons Beyond, D&D Beyond, was originally announced at, I believe, PAX East this year, I was a little critical of Wizards of the Coast and Curse for this app, this big fancy app. I wasn't terribly impressed with another app with a character sheet and some class rules and some race rules with sortable spell stuff. A lot of tools, a lot of digital tools, and even apps for my Android device are already available that can handle all those things. And I was a little disappointed with how long it took Wizards of the Coast to get a solid digital partner and provide us with PDFs, which they still haven't done. And so, yeah, admittedly, I went a little bit hard at Wizards of the Coast, and I even admitted so that I was probably being overly critical in that video. And if you want to watch that video for any reasons, you can check it up right there. I'll link it. Now, during the 48-hour stream of Annihilation from Wizards of the Coast, we got another teaser trailer for Phase 2 of D&D Beyond. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put the link in the description below. It's about a minute or so. It's nothing terribly fancy. But this is the teaser trailer where they are showing off some of the features that are going to be used to let people stream their games on Twitch. Now, this is something that honestly looks like a lot of value, a lot more value than, say, just a big fancy app with a character sheet in it. As somebody who actively streams their weekly games on Twitch and frankly, who is in the middle of putting together an all-star game of other YouTubers to stream on Twitch, this is something that is really interesting to me. Now, if you've never actually tried to stream a game of Dungeons & Dragons on Twitch, there is a lot to it. Man, there's a lot to it. Currently, my setup is we use XSplit. I build and design my own overlays. And then in addition to that, we capture screens from Skype. Now, I don't actually use the built-in Skype integration from XSplit because the video came out choppy for some reason. Instead, I use screen captures, which takes a lot of processing power in order to kind of relay this to the stream in a decent enough quality that it doesn't look just absolutely horrendous. And I gotta tell you, we've personally had a lot of issues, and I've talked to a lot of other streamers that have had a lot of issues with audio for one. Suddenly, I'm coming out only of the left without changing anything. The next week, I'm too quiet, but I'm coming out of both sides. The following week, I'm too loud and nobody can hear my players. And it feels like I'm not changing anything with my XSplit presentation, and it's a big issue. OBS can't even handle the processing power to screen capture all of those Skype cameras. So all in all, getting a game actually on Twitch that looks and sounds good is a big process. So I am very intrigued as to what the capabilities are for streaming on D&D Beyond. Now, I definitely, just from the little teaser trailer, think that there's going to be a lot of pros and cons. One of the first questions that I have that could be a significant con is the program, is D&D Beyond going to have a virtual tabletop? Now, I know a lot of people play completely theater of the mind, but as younger and younger generations and newer generations continue to get involved in tabletop role-playing games, the concept of playing 100% theater of the mind is a little strange to some. Now, personally, I have no problems with it. In my games, I use virtual tabletops and I use theater of the mind. And if I ran a whole game theater of the mind, I would have no issues with it. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. as far as playing in it, but trying to bring in that audience to watch us, I think a lot of people are going to want a virtual tabletop. So right off the bat, does D&D Beyond actually have a virtual tabletop? And they didn't tease anything in the trailer. And I think that if they had a virtual tabletop that was easy to use, it definitely would have been in the trailer. So I don't think it does. I am interested to see if it does or not. I'm also very interested in the quality of the actual stream. I can tell you right now, if you guys have never watched It Me JP and Adam Coble and those guys for roleplay, man, that is, I think, the definition, the pinnacle, the bar, if you will, of what a stream could and should look like eventually. Now, those guys are professional streamers. That is something that they have invested a lot of money into. Capture cards. They're not even using webcams any longer. They're actually using camcorders. So you're going to get a better quality, but those guys are really decked out. But professional streamers, if the quality is not terribly great, they're not even going to be interested in this right off the bat. So the people actually streaming may be, you know, it's weird to say the regular people. I don't know if there's a better word for it than the amateurs. There you go. The amateurs will probably be streaming, and I don't know if they'll be drawing large audiences, and if there's a high price tag, that could be a con if just the amateurs are paying for this and they're not having a lot of fun interacting with their audiences on streams because, again, they are not professional streamers. That is something to consider. I don't really know what the quality is going to be like, but I doubt it is going to be capable of processing and rendering the stream live high enough to entice really, really high-end professionals. Now, mid-grade streamers like myself, I would actually put myself in this category. I don't know if the ease is kind of, you know, if it's significant enough to handle some quality issues. I don't know. I might be interested in still streaming through D&D Beyond instead of XSplit. I am still very intrigued though. Now, kind of shifting back to the virtual tabletop, I'm very interested in how this will work against Roll20 and against Fantasy Grounds. I have been a big brand advocate for Roll20. I have worked on Roll20 projects personally. If you guys don't know this, I was one of the content realizers. I was basically the person who helped put the content on Roll20 for the recent Adventure a Week packs that Roll20 is selling now and is available there, that you can just drop these right into your campaigns. I've actually worked for Roll20 kind of as a freelancer, so I want to disclose that right off the bat, that I've been a big brand advocate for them. Now, I've also been very interested in following Fantasy Grounds, and I've been waiting for Fantasy Grounds to catch up with Roll20 on two main features. One is dynamic lighting, and two is a webcam, a video interface. Now, here's the catch. I no longer use Roll20's built-in video. We stream and talk with our games on Skype, and eventually we'll probably move over to Zoom, so that's no longer a big issue. And it was interesting to see Fantasy Grounds talk about their Unity engine. I know that they've been working on this a while. I think they've even announced this probably in the fourth quarter of 2016, and we're getting ready to finish up quarter 2 of 2017. So I know they've been working on this a while, and I am interested to see what D&D Beyond's impact is against these other packages, because Fantasy Grounds has all of the built-in character sheets and add-ons and adventures that D&D Beyond has, all the automation where you're not spending a lot of time setting up your game and you can kind of just jump into your game quickly. And now if they add dynamic lighting, I'm interested to see what Fantasy Grounds can do against D&D Beyond. And Roll20 is kind of continuing to stay system agnostic. Michael Irvin once said, your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness. Roll20 still doesn't have all of the built-in features for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but they are also system agnostic. So for Starfinder, for Open Legend, for Legend of the Five Rings, or Edge of the Empire, that platform may still be the way to go for all those other games beyond just Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So I'm really interested to see what Q4 of 2017 looks like and moving into 2018, because digital is here, guys. One day, if not already, more people will be playing tabletop role-playing games online than in person. That is going to happen. And so with the addition of a new player, a new platform, with the ability to stream, now that is a big indicator that I might have been terribly wrong. I am interested to see where these digital platforms will end up and what they will push the bars and push the bars and push the bars to finally get us to. And if you don't believe me that digital is going to be the future, Chris Perkins was just on one of my good friend Will Jones' channel from Encounter Roleplay, and he was talking about being nervous about what digital was going to look like and playing games online and how that was going to feel as a dungeon master. And even he talked about how that is no longer an issue. It was the closest thing to playing in person that he had ever encountered. And you know what? As somebody who's been playing exclusively online for over 3 years now, I completely agree with him. So I'm very interested in D&D Beyond now, and I will admit that I was wrong and I was too harsh. I still want to see price tags. I still want to see what the virtual tabletop does. But I tell you what, Curse, Wizards of the Coast, you got me interested. And I think that speaks a lot higher of what you guys are doing than somebody who is just blindly following along and loves everything you do. If you can convert a non-believer into a believer, I think that's wonderful. So I'm very interested in what you guys are doing. Keep up the good work. I can't wait to try out D&D Beyond Phase 2 now and see what that looks like for my stream. That's my opinions on the topic. Let me hear what you guys think. Is D&D Beyond the future? Is D&D Beyond going to cut into Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds market share? Is D&D Beyond going to be the complete future for all things D&D and Twitch? Is everybody going to move over to this platform? What do you guys think? If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. Every week I'll be putting out new videos on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit the subscribe button down below and come join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I will catch you guys next time.